Got another one, y'all. We back in the building. All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Grace from A Safe Space with Grace. Hello, everybody.
Okay, now where are you originally from?
Well, I'm from California, Los Angeles, or should I say South Central, LA.
So,
Born and raised.
so you're an ex-gang member?
No.
Oh, okay.
Some family members, but not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the good one. But I moved to Ohio and Ohio to Texas.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did an interview with real life street stars about sexual assault and taking the life of someone. Give us a little of that backstory.
Okay, so I did do the interview and shared a little bit about my life and how I was affected growing up in South Central LA. I'm a sexual assault survivor. Um, it's out here. I go around and I share my story with youth and young girls and in different prison sectors as well about sexual assault, domestic violence, and things of that sort. So I was molested as a child, and throughout that, or should I say assault, I ended up taking the life of the perpetrator. So I just got tired, and one day, was fed up. I didn't mean to, but that is what happened from the situation.
So do you regret doing any of that?
Um, well, that was my childhood. That took place when I was younger. I regret taking a life. That's never the intent. And being so young at the time, I didn't really know. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to, take him up out of here type of thing. It's just that he happened to die as a result of the injuries that was inflicted upon him. But do I resent it? I can't say yes or no to that, honestly, because of the things that he had done to me.
Okay. So how was life growing up as a child in South Central LA?
Oh my goodness, it was crazy. The beginning stages of my life, because I come from a father that had money, and then my mom, she used to hustle, so we had money, right? Whether it was the right way or the wrong way, we had money at one point. Um, I saw a lot. I saw a lot of gangs, drug transactions, to the point where I became a product of my environment, so to speak, because that's all I saw. That's all I knew at one point. And because of that, I then grew up selling drugs myself and, you know, um, dipping and dabbing in different things like with strippers and organized crime and things like that.
So when you say whether it was good or bad, or something you say about the money,
Mm-hmm.
so y'all should be grinding?
Um, well, I said that to say that we had money because my father had several businesses. But then when my mom and dad separated, my mom was hustling. She met a guy who was like a kingpin, and she started hustling and selling dope. Went from selling dope to trying her product to becoming hooked on crack cocaine for over 20 years. So, good or bad, getting it good or the bad way or the good way, we had money is what I meant by that.
Okay, so you a hustler too?
I did. I did kind of get into that game as well because again, you got to think that's all I saw at one point. So yes, I did. I was making runs, on the highways as well.
Have you ever got robbed?
No, I've never gotten robbed.
Anybody never jack you?
No. I never even got caught up when I was doing that. What I almost got caught up in was the organized crime and the strippers. Like it was a prostitution sting.
So you was a madam. Safe to say you was a madam.
If you want to call it that. I've been told that, yes, I've been told.
You still got some of their phone numbers? I'm trying to see what you had. I'm trying to see you did.
No, so long ago, no.
Okay, so at what age was this when you was in LA and doing all this stuff?
So when that transpired, I was like 11 and a half, going on 12, till about 14 by the time the case had resolved itself. So like that was my juvenile record. I spoke on a lot of it on Real Life Street Stars and how, I stabbed the man 39 times. Um, it was 39 different stab wounds, but of course, he was already deceased at some point.
Mm. Overkill.
Well, some would say that.
So do you think you still have the heart now to take somebody's life?
You know, I let me tell you, I'm all for protecting ourselves. I'm not saying that I'm just gonna be out here and I condone murder, but at the end of the day, we have to protect ourselves and our families, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, I would never ever be put in that situation to have to do that. But I want to go home to my family at the end of the day, by any means necessary.
Got you. I understand that. So do you have any kind of trauma or anything from that experience?
No, actually, I don't. I went through therapy as a kid. My grandmother kept me in therapy, and that kind of inspired me to go to school, you know, for to become a mental health therapist as well.
Oh, so you're a mental health therapist. What you giggling about?
What? Am I there?
Yeah. Has that trauma affected your adult life though?
You know what? I would say now looking back, at some points it did, and it affected my relationships at times. But I did. I did the necessary work, the shadow work.
Oh, okay.
So I'm good. But healing is continual. Healing is continual. You know, and you have to do the work.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this: as far as your therapy work, like how is it you've been through so much stuff, but yet you able to give other people advice?
Well, I tell people that, you know, you do not have to become a product of your environment, first of all. You can be successful, you know, you're not what happened to you. You know, when I go speak at the prisons to people, I tell them, you are not your mistake. You know, there's always life on the other side, you know. And just because I murdered somebody as a child doesn't mean that it has to stunt my growth at this age. And I'm a mother, you know, so that was my childhood record. My records are sealed. That was something that I got, you know, that's something that happened because my parents or my mom didn't protect me. She wasn't in the right state of mind to protect me as a child. So I should have never been put in that position, but I was, and here we are today.
Okay, so now by you being a therapist, you have your trauma, do you see a therapist as well?
I have a therapist. Yes.
A man or a woman?
A woman.
Why you don't have a man?
I've had a man throughout the years at times, but I have a woman currently.
You know, I do therapist work too, right? I'm just saying, just in case you want to change it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
I'll keep you in mind.
So how has this affect you as a mother?
Well, as a mother, I find that I am so overprotective of my children. Like, when my children were growing up, they were not able to spend the night at people's houses. They were not, I don't care if it's family, because sometimes it's the aunt and the uncle that will cause trauma as well. So I was very, very overprotective. And sometimes it backfired because my kids want to just be normal kids and do things. And I'm like, no, they can come over here, but you can't spend the night over there, you know, because of that, because I never wanted to have that imposed upon my children, what I went through as a child. And so, yeah, it has affected.
All right, now let's switch gears, because I understand you just published a book.
Yes.
Tell me what inspired this book.
Okay, so my first book is called Storylines Presents Jelly Bean Jane, and it's a book series for children on sexual assault. And it is a activity book that the parents can do with the children to get them to connect the dots to the different body parts, to open up. And the child, as they're doing it, they're not even thinking in the moment that they're connecting dots to, you know, different body parts or different things. But what happens is the parent is able to visually see on paper and identify triggers and things like that. So what inspired me is what I had gone through, and I want to be able to pour into people and give parents the knowledge. You know, not all children come forward. Some are scared. You know, some are like, if you tell, I'm gonna kill your whole family. You know, so I want to be able to put it out there that first of all, you know, to look for the signs and be aware of certain triggers and certain behaviors in your children, um, and stay attuned with who you are and who your children are, but also to let them know that, you know, there are services available, because in the book I also have a section where there are numbers and different resources for the parents.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your purpose and why?
Well, my purpose is to pour into not just the young people, because I speak to women, I do nonprofit, but to pour into people, to give them hope, you know, to advocate when they are voiceless, until they are able to find their voice within on their own. So to give them hope, to inspire them, to empower them, and to let them know that, you know, you are not your mistake. You are not what people say you are, you know. Yeah, that's my purpose.
Okay, so if you could speak to a woman or a little girl who may be watching this, what would you say to them?
I would just let them know, first of all, that they are loved, they are beautiful. You know, what I find sometimes is that women, young girls and old alike, they battle with identity crisis. So, you know, a lot of them, they want to go and they want to get their body done, or they want to go, and it's like, are you really doing it for you, or are you really doing it for somebody else? And if you love yourself, you love you the way you are. You don't have to do all of this extra, because it starts within. Beauty is inside and then out, you know. And so I would let them know that they are loved, they're beautiful, they were created just the way they are, and that they are resilient and tenacious, and that they can do anything and be anything that they want to be, and give them some support along the way, because some people want to, or they aspire to do certain things, but they don't know how to get there. So that's where I do like coaching and development and things like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could speak to the younger Grace, what would you tell her?
Well, I would love on her. I would give her everything that my mother didn't give me as a child, and I would love on her, and I would vow to not become the person that did the monstrous things that they did to me. That's what I would do.
Okay. Do you resent your mother for not protecting you as a child?
Not anymore, but for years I did. For years I used to be like, God, why you didn't take her out? Why did you why did my dad die instead of my mom? Because my dad was like, you know, I'm a daddy's girl, I'm his only child, so I was like, why didn't you take him? I mean, why did you take him and not her? Because she's just on drugs and doing all of this stuff, you know. But it wasn't until, and I shared this when I was on Real Life Street Stars, that I studied addiction, and I was able to heal and forgive my mom. And I learned that addiction is a disease, and pathology and things like that is real. That I was able to forgive and move on.
Okay. Last question. Are you dating? You have a man? I see the ring.
Why are you my business?
I mean, I see the rings, and you got people who gonna be checking out the channel. And
They
they
can
be like,
check
man,
it
she
out.
kind of fly. I want to get dig. So now what's up? You dating or what? You open?
No comment.
Okay, that's cool. You got any shout out before we get out of here?
I would like to shout out my co-author for the book, Naki Harris, Altavis. He helped with the book, and I just want to shout him out, and my children.
Where your co-host at now?
I said my co-author.
Your co-author, where is he?
He's incarcerated.
Oh.
He's in FCI Talladega, Alabama.
So your man locked up?
I said that's my co-author.
Well, you know, co-author, that'd be the nickname y'all do, but I'm just trying to see what's up.
He's the brain behind the book, putting it together,
Okay.
and then I went and got it published.
Okay,
But it's
so
based off my life story.
you Nigerian, right?
Part.
Yeah, y'all know how to make some money. All right, man. Tell them all your social media handles before you get out.
Grace Mercy Favor, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And Grace the Therapist. If you need therapy, hit me up in the comments or send me a message.
All right, thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
I know we said we was out of here, but we forgot one thing. It's really my fault. I apologize. The book. So how can we find this book?
So the book will be available February the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, on Amazon, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and several other platforms. You can also get the book through me personally. And yeah, Storyline presents Jelly Bean Jane. It's a 5-book series for children. Hit me
Oh,
up, y'all.
that's nice. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So is there a way I could get a few dollars off this book? I could like get in on. Y'all could cut me in and cut it out. Let's get out of here. We got people there making noise.
Bye.
We out.